everyone and welcome back to my Fallout Wasteland Warfare series, and before us we have the massive inventory we're going to have to work through for today's mission. This is the haul that New Hope has. However, before going any further, I'm going to have to discuss spoilers for last time, so make sure you've seen the last episode before proceeding, because there's no way to talk about what we're doing today without covering that. So I'll give you a few seconds to pause the video, go watch last week's if you haven't. And with that, spoilers, etc., we know after last time that the sole survivor has been wounded and cannot come on the mission today. Dogmeat also refuses to leave his side, so he will not be coming with us either, which does sort of limit who we have available. So it's not exactly the A-team that is coming out today, so they've taken a bit of an easier mission that we'll obviously get to, but because the sole survivor is also wounded, he can't do any Explorer cards. That's just the rule I'm imposing. He's too wounded and he is the one we send out to do those. So we're not doing those. We are still going to draw from our crops food card, which I'll just cut these because it's just going to get thrown into this mess, and we're going to have to talk through some stuff, because we can take 5 of these things into battle and we can store 8 thanks to that upgrade, but we also have to discuss the new upgrade. So we have found... Is this the wrong deck again? It's the wrong... I did it again. I did it 2 weeks in a row. The bottom item on the deck was the food items. I thought, yeah, this is the right one. Well, we'll have to do that at deployment again. I am very sorry. So we will have 1 extra food, although honestly there's not really much point because we do not have enough room to store. We have way too many power armors after last time. We got very lucky with that. We have 3 sets of T60 and 1 set of T45. The T45 is just a straight up downgrade from the T60. T60 is plus 3 strength, plus 4 endurance. T45 is plus 2 strength, plus 3 endurance, minus 1 agility. We are going to sell the T45 stuff, get out of our inventory, and when you sell something you take its value. I'm going by the battle mode value because that's really the only cap listing you can find. So this is worth 36 caps. So we're going to sell that 36 caps into the kitty this time. Oh, and to cover what we spent on, or rather what you spent on, we ended last time with 713 caps, and you actually decided on spending a healthy chunk of them this time. You spent 550 caps on upgrading the battered Protectron into a police Protectron. So this will now be the miniature representing the Protectron you have purchased last time and then upgraded this time. He will be part of what is defending New Hope, and at the moment defending Dogmeat and the sole survivor. So that means we've started today with 163 caps, plus the 36 for selling this. I'm not sure I want to sell anything else, and because of the nature of the mission today, we can bring power armor if we want, but there will be a negative associated with it if we do. On that note, I'm bringing the Hunter's Hunting Rifle for sure. I'll put what I'm bringing off to one side here, so that's one thing. We'll bring 1 set of T60, so that's bringing 2 things. We'll bring the Triggerman Bowler for Pennyworth. That's 3 things. We'll bring... Let's bring the Incendiary Baton, because we're bringing the Scavenger, and I really think this will be useful for him because it rolls 2 green dice. I want to give that a go to test, because the stakes aren't super high this week. So that's 4 things. We can bring 1 more thing, and then we can store 8. We're storing the 2 power armors for sure. We're storing the metal armor, so that's 3. I don't want to get rid of the Incendiary Assault Rifle, so that's 4. Don't want rid of the Sledgehammer, that's 5. Laser Rifle, that's 6. I want a Poison Cure, so that's 7. So we can bring one of these, store one of these, and one of them has to go. I think the Houndmeat's getting the bye-bye. And we'll bring... Well, Dogmeat isn't here this time, so... We'll bring a laser pistol. I'm not sure if we'll get any use. So that's what's coming with us, the 5 items coming with us. These are going into storage. We have exactly enough space that this is good enough. We would draw another food card, but we don't have enough storage space anyway, so I won't bother. It'll save me looking at the deck again. So with that, let's hear what we're doing today. Quest 5, Wrangle Me My Daisy. A win will result in 200 caps, a loss will result in 120 caps. Quest overview. It was one of the odder requests New Hope has received, but the caps are worth it. The prize Brahmin of a local farmer has escaped its pen after being spooked by who knows what. It's lost, and there's plenty of things out there that would love an easy meal. The Brahmin, named Daisy, is temperamental, and getting her back home safe is going to be a pain in the neck. So you've heard what we're doing today, and this is the team that we're going to be taking. Sadly, obviously missing Dogmeat and the sole survivor this time. But we have John, we have the Free Tech, who is inside a set of T60 power armor. Also made a little bit of a change with what I'm bringing. I'm not bringing the laser pistol, I'm bringing the laser rifle. So he's equipped with that. The laser pistol is staying at home. We have Pennyworth here, the Mr. Gutsy, equipped with Mr. Handy Buzzsaw, Mr. Handy Flamer, and Mr. Handy SMG. And also he's been given his lucky bowler hat. The Settler has been given the Hunter's Hunting Rifle. It'll be very useful this mission, hopefully. And then the Scavenger has been given that special baton, the Incendiary Baton, to see how he fares with that. And that will be their starting location. They are starting right in there. They found a track leading to Daisy next to one of the outlying huts of the farmland. So they will be going from that point. But let's take a look at the whole map and we'll talk about how we can win and how we can lose. So here's the whole table layout, and if you're curious and perhaps thinking this sounds a bit familiar, this was planned out when the season was being started, but the specifics of a mission usually just happen a day before filming when the table gets set up. But some friends and I have been playing Fallout 76 again, and there is a event quest that can spawn in that, which is remarkably similar to this, where you have to guide a herd of Brahmin and some bugs and wolves and whatnot, come and try and eat them. So I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from that with how this is going to work. We just need to get Daisy back inside this area, and we do that by guiding her using an item the farmer has given us. Only one person is allowed to hold it. It will be John, because he's kind of the de facto leader when the sole survivor is not here. So he has it, and if he is within yellow of Daisy, he can use up an action to pull her towards him, sorry. And once she's in there, it'll be a case of just getting rid of all the enemies. And on that note, a pack of very hungry mongrels have entered the area, 6 of them to be exact, who want to eat Daisy. So although Daisy will also have an AI activation, she is not counted as an ally amongst them, she is their target. There's one here, 2 right down here in the road, 1 there, and 1 at the top there. So when we roll for whether or not AI activate, Daisy will be included. Daisy's activation, she moves randomly, much like a mole rat. And the way Brahmin work in general, just in the game, if they are aware of an attack happening within their influence area, or perception radius of yellow, I think it is, or if they're attacked directly, once per activation, and they run in the opposite direction at full speed, and they do a very dangerous move called Brahmin Trample, which is triple black dice and a blue dice. If you fail an agility test, if you pass an agility test, it does a lot less damage. We'll look at it when it happens. But she's going to be constantly running around, so it's going to be a case of trying to shepherd her up there. Some of my guys are going to get trampled probably, hopefully some of the enemies will as well, but the proviso and the negative for bringing power armor, and indeed a robot, is that those especially spook poor Daisy down here, so they can't really go near her or she will always try and trample away from them, which would make things harder. So Pennyworth and the Free Tech, they're just going to have to go around the outlying sides and try and take out some of the mongrels. Speaking of the mongrels, they have 6 health each, which is a little tanky, honestly, but they have absolutely no armour. I think they're immune to radiation, but that's not relevant here. Modiphias do this sometimes, where to balance out a unit, sometimes you'll have an even amount of armour and health, sometimes you have a lot of health, no armour, like in this case, or sometimes the opposite's true, low health, but really good armour. So they're tanky in the sense that they have a lot of health to bust through, but if we roll well on black dice, we can hopefully take them down pretty quick. Got to get Daisy in before the end of turn 5, and with that, I think we've covered everything, so we can jump into Battle Round 1. So because for once we're outnumbered by 2, I get to go first, which is very unfamiliar. So I went with John, and he moved up yellow twice. He is now within yellow range, so if Daisy does not move, he'll be able to start wrangling her towards the pen next turn. But for now, he just wanted to stay away from the potential direction that she might get sent if she gets attacked. And we'll have to hope for the best when one of these... I was going to say when one of the mongrels activate, but there is a chance that it will be her. She'll go in a random direction, which could also be bad. I guess we'll see. Well, we got very lucky with the first AI activation. It's the mongrel furthest from the action, all the way over here on the left flank. They move quick though. Base movement of red, charge distance of blue, same as dog meat. And with that, he went after the closest target. The AI matrix for a mongrel, unless they have 1 or 2 health, in which case there's a chance on a star they'll fall back. They're just attack. They just go after the closest target. So he has moved, and then he successfully charged into the Free Tech, taking a black die for his charge bonus if he gets the chance to attack next turn. And we'll see about that. Alright, I think next I'm going to go with the scavenger because I want to roll some dice and try out his effectiveness with that baton, incendiary baton. So he's charged in and he is going to attack that mongrel that's attacking the free tick. Now, base with the incendiary baton is 2 greens and a blue. He's taking a black die for his charge bonus and then another green die for outnumber bonus. So he's got a much better chance than usual of landing this, but as per usual, you shouldn't say such things before rolling. A 5 comes down to a 4, that's not good enough, he needs a 3. Oh no, sorry, no, his attack is a 4, his shooting is a 3. So thankfully, thanks to that -1, it does come down by enough. It hasn't got any armour. Does the incendiary baton do anything on a bottle cap? Nope, it needs a star to set them on fire. But that's still just 2 flat damage of his 6. It's a start. And he landed a hit, which is more than you can usually say for the scavenger. Well, we got less lucky with the next AI activation. It was one of the mongrels right in the middle of the road and within charge distance of poor Daisy. Blue charge distance meant that this mongrel got into base to base and will initiate an attack. However, upon completing that attack, Daisy is going to run that direction. Now, it's not going to matter here because she's not going to trample through anyone, but anyone she passes through of less strength than her, and she's strength 9, would be hit by the trample effect. But not this time. Either way though, the mongrel dog bite is a black, blue, yellow type dog bite, and a green die was randomly selected for the charge bonus. They hit on 5s, I believe it was. Let's see what happens. That was a crit fail with a quick action. I don't know if they have anything they can quick action with. Let me just check. Nope. Oh yeah, they can do a prepare. Actually, they can do a move as well. They can do quick action moves. I don't know what they would do in this situation because a quick action move would bring them down to yellow, so they're going to be slightly out of range. I guess they would want to pursue their target, right? So that attack completes. Daisy tramples this way, doesn't crush anyone, including my team, thankfully. But then the mongrel can do a quick action move that's 1 less speed. Then actually, he could do 1 less speed charge as well. That's actually nasty because a green would mean that it can stay engaged. Yep, that's what it would do. Worst possible scenario would be that it initiates the charge as a quick action, 1 less speed than blue, because that's its normal speed. So it stays in there against poor Daisy, but did not manage to hurt them. And that's good because Daisy has 1 physical armour, but that's it, but 9 health. I'm going to go with the settler now, and she's going to hop that low bit of the fence there, so I'm not making that reduce her movement because it's really low to the ground. So she moved over here, and she's got that hunter's hunting rifle, which means we're going to get an extra black die against any target. I'm scared to shoot into combat though in case she massively hurts Daisy. Where she is right now as well, she's outside of Daisy's yellow perception or awareness, which means that she won't startle if I shoot. So instead I'm going to take a long range shot at this doggo right here, see if we can do some damage. So the extra black die is because it's a hunter's hunting rifle. 2 green at long range on 6s. And that's a crit. It hits for a total of, well, base 2, but that means it does 3. That is a good enough hit. That is half that mongrel's health completely gone already before it's even activated. And I didn't want to kill it, not that we could, in a single shot. I think our best damage would have been 4. Yeah, 4. Because if that one goes, well, if it activates, it's going right after Daisy, which means it will trample that way. Hopefully not quite enough to hit John, but it would trample this dog. Well, not quite the right mongrel was sadly randomly selected. It was the one at the top of the road up here that activated full health within charge distance to get in against poor Daisy, and will be initiating a dog bite. Took a green die for its charge bonus randomly selected, can't talk, and another green die for outnumbered bonus. Very high chance of this hitting. Yes, I am hoping to jinx it so it doesn't on a 5. And it definitely hit. Now, does their dog bite do anything on a star? It gives them a quick action, and the bottle cap would have removed repairs. Okay, so it does have a quick action it can make use of, and it is 2 damage versus Daisy's 1 armor. Nope, that is just 2 damage. Now, upon triggering that though, Daisy will move and run away once per activation. Runs down here, so we're going to have to proc a trample on this, but this dog can still use that quick action to chase. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought it was, so it's staying in close combat. Now I'm going to need to go look out the dice, and we'll look up how to proc that trample on that other poor dog. So here is the Brahmin trample. You don't get an extra black die for strength bonus, it specifies that, but you are rolling 3 plus a blue. Presumably you don't roll a skill die, because its chance to hit would be a 1 otherwise, which, if the case, is a bit boring, so we're just going to make it an automatic hit. But once we roll all this, the target gets to test agility, and oh yeah, and it only works against targets with less strength, sorry, it's out of focus. But once we roll that, we then test agility, and if they pass the agility test, it only does 1 damage and stuns instead of whatever we roll, which can be quite nasty, including like throwing them. So we're rolling this for the trample to see what it does. So the bottle caps would do scatter the target. The agility of a mongrel is 6 though, I think. Yes, so very high chance of it passing its agility test. Haha, never mind. So that would be, oh, it does 1 base damage actually, so that is 3 damage, and it throws it orange. Now I'm not sure what way it throws it. Away, I presume, as it trampled. So I'll need to look at the orange marker. Well, it's half the yellow, so it doesn't go very far. But, oh no, sorry, it burst through that one, didn't it? Okay, well, in that case, why was there a 5 there? That should have been a 2, right? A 2 when it did 3 damage. There we are. Oops. There. So it's to this one. I pushed through this way. I guess you would scatter. I'll scatter, because I'm honestly not sure which way you're supposed to push it. So we'll go by the arrow, so it's going to go half distance. It's going to go right over here. It gets battered out of the way up there. I'm going with Pennyworth next and charging into the mongrel over here to try and hopefully get super lucky with damage to let the free tech leave without getting attacked, because fighting in close combat is not his forte. So there's normally just a yellow die for Mr. Handy Buzzsaw. He's getting a green die for outnumber bonus, black die for charge bonus, and he is hitting on a 7. That is a crit fail with a quick action. What can he do with a quick action? A whole lot of nothing. Yeah, never mind then. Oh, that sucks. The mongrel down here activated. There is still 2 more and Daisy left in the potential AI pool. Moved up, and the blue charge distance, I totally underestimated this blue charge distance, was enough to go after the closest target, which just by mere millimeters was the settler, not John. So he has engaged her and locked her in combat, which is really bad because she needed to stay out of combat to make use of that hunter's hunting rifle ideally. So Daisy's in a bit of bother. So thanks to the power armor beefing up his strength and that being tied to his close combat attack, I did consider leaving the free tech in that combat, but I want someone to be taking shots. So I stomped him out of combat, so we're going to do a dog bite, or sorry, a mongrel bite against him, hitting on a 3 reduced because it's a quick attack, and that is a 7. Oh, thank goodness it missed. So it did miss, and then he's taking a long range shot at the wounded and pushed mongrel over there. So for the laser rifle he's got, it's just a black and a blue, and he's only hitting on a 3, but hey, worse things have happened. He actually did land a hit. Did the stars do anything? No, they did not. But that's still a quick action with which he can do a prepare. Fine. And he does 2 flat damage. So there we go. That mongrel is now on 1 health remaining, and he'll take a prepare, which he might actually get to use, because that mongrel hasn't activated yet. And you don't have to proc it, i.e. if Daisy activates, he doesn't have to shoot Daisy. So the wounded mongrel up there was the next one to activate, and could just initiate a charge into Daisy, unfortunately, but that will trigger the prepare, and we're going to use it, and it hits on a crit. Oh, actually no, it would be down to a crit, but then it's +2 because he's now shooting into combat. So I guess it's on his normal of 3, and it will go 1, 2, 3, 4. If indeed it hits, which was a crit fail, so it doesn't matter. So then we go over to the mongrel bite, which is these dice, plus a yellow, plus a green, already randomly selected for his charge bonus, and a green for outnumbered bonus, hitting Daisy on a 6, and that would be a 10. It comes down by 3 to 7, so thankfully it was a miss. Well, of course Daisy is the last one to activate in the turn, which means that this mongrel down here could activate. Now he did not start within range blue of where Daisy was, so he couldn't just charge in, so he had to move first, so he's used both actions, but is also stuck right in there. So then it's over to Daisy. Now Daisy can break away via panicking and whatnot without causing reactions, so that's how we're going to treat it, just for her movements, so we have a chance, because I underestimate how fast the mongrels are. So she is just going to scatter randomly for her turn, because no one's done an attack. Oh no, actually, I forgot. When that one attacked her, she would have ran this way, which means he would get into range. I forgot. You know what, let's just roll. we'll just roll further movement now. I totally forgot she should have sprinted when that one attacked her, which would mean she would be down here. Well, you know what, we can still do that, because that would mean we're going to have to do a dog bite though, because that one would have been close enough to do one charge. That's just a simple yellow, blue, black, and then we'll roll this. If it's a circle, sorry, if it's an X, it's a black die. Nope, so it's a green die, and hits on a 6. And it did hit. It broke her armor, unfortunately. Didn't do anything with the stars, but does do 2 more damage. So Daisy is up to 4. But that would mean she then startles. Oh, this is confusing. So on this one's mongrel's turn, she would then startle away from him, green. Now I'm not sure what happens if she ends her movement overlapping a model, which is going to happen. So I'm going to presume she passes by it. And does she hit both of them there? I'm going to say she hits both because that's funner. She is trampling through them. So we're still not even on her turn, but now we need to resolve 2 tramples to see what happens there. So that is, what, 3 black dice and a blue die. We'll go with the left one first. See what it might do. It's going to do a lot if it doesn't pass its agility test. It didn't pass its agility test, so that's 3 damage. So that is half health. Oh wait, no, it does a base of 1, doesn't it? So that's 4 damage. I've ran out of damage markers. I was not expecting that, so that's 4 damage to this one, and sends him flying orange that way. So it's half distance of this because I don't have the orange marker, so it's roughly there. I'll move all these markers in a second. As I say, this is super confusing. Presumably that also means his charge bonus disappears because he's no longer in combat. And then for this other one, it's going to be doing that. And does it pass its agility test? It does pass its agility test, so it does 1 flat damage and stuns it, which in some ways might be worse, because that means it only has 1 action next turn. Alright, so I think we're caught up now with everything Daisy's Rampage has done. I hope it's all correct and tallied up, and the damage is still correct and everything. So Daisy is the last one to activate for the turn. That's just the way the RNG worked out. And it's not in combat anymore because of being pushed away or charging away after getting hit again with 5 health left. So for her turn she moves randomly. That's just what her matrix is. And I'm going to say that she tramples through things, which I think is how you're supposed to do it anyway, but it's funner just to do that either way. So first move is going to be annoyingly away from where she needs to be. Pardon me a moment. So she is going to come down here and charge through this doggo. So we'll handle that in a second. Just do our other move now. Where is our other move going? That way. Okay. So she's going like right that. That's not bad. She doesn't hit anyone that time. So we just need to resolve the 1 trample then. To save me rolling dice, let's just do the agility test first, because if he passes it, it's set damage. That was 2 crits in a row that dog's done. Unfortunately, he still takes 1 damage though, so he is 1 away. Well, unfortunately for him, he is 1 away from death, and Daisy has been the most effective killer so far on the entire table. So that was a very busy turn 1. Let's see what event is taking us into turn 2. Now I did forget to mention why there's no items sitting on the table this time. The reason for that is if we win today, we'll be given our choice of 2 bits of loot from this pile of crates they have here, or those indeed, which just means we'll be pulling 2 random cards from the Wasteland deck. So, the event taking us into turn 2. Quiet, reactions, all skills at +2. Not really important for the mongrels, but could be important for me. So as we start battle round 2, I'm still at a disadvantage, so I get first activation. And John's going to have to throw his turn away to try and save Daisy, because if those 3 or 4 dogs all jump her, it's very likely she's going to go down this turn. So he's going to use the tool given by the farmer to try and wrangle Daisy back to the farm. I'm trying to think of the real name. I think it's called a shepherd's crook, or I think it's that. So it's a stick with bells on, essentially. So he's using that twice for both his actions. Using that will appease Daisy. I'll just move her as much as she can, so she does not do a trample when she is listening to that, but she can pass through other bases as per her normal Brahmin rules, and I don't want her there. So that's unfortunately a bit close to the power armor, which will also scare her when it moves. Or I could just have him stand still this turn. But it does mean now that John is the closest target, so unfortunately he's going to get jumped by a bunch of dogs, which is not ideal, honestly, but it means that at least Daisy is living. Well, I am glad I did that for my first activation, because the heavily damaged mongrel, the one that was down here, the one on 5 damage, it activated, and now John is the closest target. He only had one action because Daisy stunned him. If I've been interchanging Bessie and Daisy, it's not my cow. I can call it whatever I want. He initiated a charge into John, taking a black die for his charge bonus, but thankfully not being able to attack this turn. So I think I am going to go with the free tech, but given that he's in that power armor, if I move with him, he's going to startle Daisy. So I really have been going between the two, haven't I? So he's just going to stand and shoot. I'm going to try and take out that mongrel over there that's got 1 health left, because if he can land that hit, then that removes an activation, and that seems good to me. Unfortunately, only hitting on 3s. Oh, he hit! The bottle cap would have set it on... Oh, it ignored that. Well, not that it has armor, but it would ignore 1 armor. 3 damage, more than enough. Get turned into a puddle of ash and mist. That is 1 mongrel down. Now he has another action, but I can't move with him because the cow will startle. I guess just shoot at the other one in the open. He could get lucky and take it out. It would be the most consistent the free tech has ever shot if he lands 2 hits in a row. No, unfortunate. That would have been 4 damage, ignoring 1 armor. Oh well. So my next randomly selected AI activation is the mongrel attacking the settler. However, first, I was thinking to myself between takes, why am I interchanging Daisy with Bessie? And then I realised in Fallout 76 there's a Brahmin farm that you visit very early on, and one of the Brahmin is actually a sentry bot painted like a cow. It's white with black spots. Its name is Bessie, and you can talk to it, and it says stuff like comforting moo and stuff like that. That's why I'm getting confused. Anyway, it came to me in a second. So anyway, taking a green charge bonus from last turn, biting at the heels of the settler on 6s. And that is a 6, so regardless of anything else, it comes down. I believe the bottle cap did nothing, so it's just 2 damage versus 2 armor. 1 armor, sorry. Did block 1, I knocked that to extra damage. So only 1 damage, and then we're going to unfortunately do the same again, but this time without the charge bonus, because that goes away. Once more, without feeling. I want this to miss. Settlers do not have lots of health. Okay, just I'm going to double check the bulk. Yeah, that would cancel prepares. So it's just 2 damage versus 1 armor again. Blocked 1, took 1. Okay. She's on half health, with no means of defending herself really in close combat. Great. Oh, as a quick note, I did totally forget when the free tech was firing his gun, Daisy would still panic on his first shot, which moved her down here, which does mean that she's out of the awareness range of that attack happening to startle again, but it does mean that she's stuck down here now, just for the record. I totally forgot. Everything else played out as is though. Alright, I'm going to do something risky. I pulled out of combat, maybe a bit too far actually. Should only be orange. There we are. Out of combat with the mongrel, on the assumption that she does not die, I'm going to then take a shot at the one that hasn't activated yet, that's got 2 health left. But she's got to weather 1 more dog bite at a -2, so it's on a 4. That's a 7, or a, well, it was a 7. It was almost a quick action, but it was on a 7 more. It does not come down by any, so thankfully she made it. So then she can take a point blank shot with the Hunter's Hunting Rifle, which point blank range is 2 yellow dice, I believe. Yep, 2 yellow dice plus the black die for shooting a creature, hitting on a 6. Ah, so close. It came down to a 7. Well, at least she got out of combat unscathed, but that's a waste. Well, the mongrel that the settler just failed to take out activated, because of course it did, and charged into John because John was slightly closer than she was, getting a green die for outnumbered bonus and randomly selected to take a black die for its charge bonus, so this could be pretty nasty. You need the skill die as well. There we go. Hitting on a 6. That's a crit fail, and thank goodness it was. So it's probably the least important combat going on the table right now, but I'm going to go with the scavenger next, and we're going to try and deal damage to that mongrel up there before it activates. If it frees up Pennyworth, then great, although he needs to stay out of Daisy's way as well. Daisy / Betty, we're just going to, Bessie even, we're just going to go with that, and the extra green die was for outnumbered bonus, and I actually did get an extra point of damage and hit even without the minus. They've got no armor, so that is just flat 3 damage. Oh, which means he's on 1 health. Perfect. So he's up to 5, but he needs to repeat the feat for it to die during his turn. Can he do it? Never speak before rolling dice. It would have come down by a massive 4 as well. Oh, I didn't notice if there was a star on the blue die in the last row. I don't think there was. Either way, messed up the first one, but hey, I mean the second one, but hey, he did well with the first. So So 1 health left in that mongrel. Watch him be the next activation. Oh, you better believe it was that mongrel, and he's going to go after the scavenger just because that's the one who attacked him. So it stands to reason that's the one he would bite. Extra black die thrown in for the charge bonus, which I accidentally just dropped out the table. Well, it is hitting, oh good, for 3 damage versus 2 armor. Ah, he didn't block any and took 3. He's got 1 health left. You're not doing well against enemies that were supposed to be easy. And then 1 black die goes away. We do the same again. And thankfully he manages to get a crit fail for a change. Well, Pennyworth the Mr. Gutsy is the only activation I have left, so he's got to use that first action to slash that mongrel down. On a 7, that's a 6. They have no armor, so that is enough because he's got 1 health left and he does 2 flat damage with the buzzsaw. So that is the mongrel removed. Now for his other action, ideally I need him out of the pen, but at the same time there's a perfect opportunity to just take a shot at a full health mongrel right there. And you know, I think I'm going to do that because we need them to die, because then if they die, wrangling the cow is easy in theory. So the SMG is range blue, oh no, green red at long range. Green should be good enough to see him. Yes it is. Perfect. So that would be a black and a green. And still hitting on a 7. Another crit. Oh, that would have been 4 damage. That would have been amazing. So I swear to you, it is genuinely RNG that Daisy is activating last again. The mongrel moved and then initiates a charge. Haven't bothered issuing a charge bonus because Bessie's going to activate now and randomly run away. And I do mean run away. If we get an arrow that's pointing towards the thing that she's now feared of, we'll reroll. So it's going arrow way. That's both good and bad because it's just going to startle the other way if the free tech takes a shot. So she moves her way over here, and then that was not a deliberate pun, and then it's going that way. Okay, so not hitting anything this turn then, just minding her own business then, coming over here, and is now happily just grazing. So things are starting to look up for my team. Bessie didn't take any more damage that, I said Bessie. Daisy, you know what, either or. Daisy took no damage that turn, and there's 2 more mongrels on top of the 2 that are already dead, 1 away from, well, one's 1 away, one's 2 away from dying. So it's looking up, although if John goes down that'll be a problem. Let's see what event carries us over into the next turn. That's just a Super Mutant broadcast. Is this the one from Tabitha? No, this is the one where they're trying to trick you. This is one of my favourite ones. It's a trick. You're trying to trick them. AKA nothing. So as we get into the 3rd battle round of potentially 5, thanks to those 2 mongrels being dead, the AI now have first activation, and it was the mongrel between the settler and the free tech, and the free tech was slightly closer, so it's initiated a charge into him. A extra black die has been thrown in for his charge bonus, and he is going to try and take a chunk out of some power armor, which isn't the smartest idea, but who said they were smart? Well, to be fair, he did land a hit, and it's doing 1 extra damage, so that is 3 versus 3 plus 1. And he actually fully blocked it. That is the power of T60 power armor. Well, I'm going to try and help out John by activating the settler and shooting into combat, while the odds are that she's going to hit one of the docks. So extra black die thrown in for the hunter's hunting rifle. Thanks to that +2 shooting into combat, she's hitting on 8s. So really good chance she'll hit with at least one of the... I see. And then the other shot then will be the one that hits, of course. It does. It hits really, really hard actually. So it's killing either of the dogs if it hits them. I didn't assign the numbers, but it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's John, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, that's, I see. So that's 4 damage versus his 2 armor. Which armor does he have? He has 2 armor. He blocked 1 and took 3. Well, it's been a while since we've had a fail of that magnitude. Good job, settler. Well done. Well, the less said about that, the better. The mongrel at the southern tip of the map activated and has been able to charge into Daisy there, taking a black die on top of the normal mongrel bite, and is rolling against her, and that comes down by 3 and is a hit for 2 extra damage. That's 4 damage versus 1 armor, and she does not block it. Daisy is 1 away from death. Because that is, yeah, she had 4 and she just took 4. Yeah, she is 1 away from death. So if we just turn that to 5. Do I have another 2? Yes, I do. There we go. Now it will run, and it should be away really, which is going to shoot it past the fence. But in order to give me a chance now, we're going to have her run here, and yes, I'm aware that means that Pennyworth is going to get trampled, but I think we're going to have to take that in the hopes that this cow lives, because it's not looking great. So Pennyworth is getting a trample, and that means he is a 1 blue 3 black dice. There we go. So it's going to do that if he doesn't evade. I don't think the nuke did anything, did it? No. So what's the agility of a Mr. Gutsy? A Mr. Gutsy has agility 7. He failed it, so he's taken 3 damage in total because of the 1 flat base. Again, I've run out of damage numbers, so I'll just put them on this side of the fence for now because it's a bit awkward to get in. But that does also mean he is flung orange in a direction. He's flung over the fence, actually. That's perfect. So he's over here with 3 damage, very confused about what just happened. Now, even though Daisy is technically in the pen now, we still don't win unless we take out all the dogs. So I'm going to be a bit strategic here and activate the scavenger. He's moved over here and he's going to take a pot shot at this mongrel. I'm not expecting much, but it does mean that Daisy is going to scatter right into the corner there, so it basically means she'll be safe and out of the range of Pennyworth to not get scared by him. So it's on 3s with a 10mm pistol that he has by default now, and that's a crit fail. Doesn't matter though, that's not what we were after. We were after the panic from the Brahmin into the corner, not hitting anyone, and just to try and keep them safe. The mongrel with 1 health left activated of the 2 that are in close combat with John, the one that took a black charge bonus last turn, also getting a green die for outnumbered bonus. This is all the settler's fault, but at least this means that even if John goes down, it isn't an insta-fail because he's the one with the shepherd's crook. So, hitting on 6s, he does indeed hit. Oh no. So that's 5 damage against 2 armor. I think even if he blocks this, which he didn't. So yeah, John's dead. Well, not dead. He is unconscious and unable to continue this time. It is the settler's fault. We all know this. And that was 1 action. So the settler's going to get their comeuppance because she is the closest target and he is charging right in there with 1 health left. And charge bonus, X is a black die. Yep, okay. Black die, charge bonus. This enemy should not have been alive. You're going to get what you deserve. Oh, this is feeling like Season 1 New Hope. Pennyworth activated is moving down their red to try and protect the scavenger because now he's the closest threat for that mongrel next turn. And he's going to take a pot shot at the one who would be the last activation for the turn after this. Daisy technically hasn't activated, but now that they're in the pen they will not activate. So if he can land a hit, he will kill it because they have no armor. So it's on a 7. Quick action. Yeah, he did it. What can he do with the quick action? He can do nothing. But that's okay, because he took out the 2 health remaining mongrel. Meaning there's 3 on the table, 1 is 1 away from death, and 2 of them are full health. And we're down, we're about to be down by 2, honestly. But that's okay. He did enough. That means we go right to the end of the turn. Oh, no it doesn't, because the free tech hasn't gone yet. In fact, we can just roll for that now, because I think he's just going to shoot his laser rifle point blank in close combat, because it's a crit anyway. Basically, because he's normally on a 3, so why not just be on a crit? Sure, why not? Although no, because the power armor gives him okay strength. Improvised weapon is just a green die though. Do you guarantee 1 damage or do you take a Hail Mary for more? We take a Hail Mary for more. On crits. Nope, that would have been great too. And then his other one. Was that 2 9s in a row? Either way though, sadly not. Now that takes us to the end of the turn already. I was remembering about Pennyworth's luck there incidentally. It only can alter a die by -2, so it wouldn't have made a difference to either of those rolls. So, what event is going to carry us into the second last turn? Diamond City Radio, aka Also Nothing. Shut up, Travis. So as the penultimate round begins and Daisy is technically safe as long as we survive, it is the mongrels that are still going first, and specifically it is this one attacking the free tech, still trying to take bites out of that power armor leg. No extra dice, just straight up 2 bites. And that first one is a hit with double armor break, so he's on 1+1 against 3 damage. So no, just the +1. So he takes 2, and his power armor now has 2 health left. This is going swimmingly. And then the other bite, because Robin gets another bite, is also a hit. Nothing fancy though, so 3+1. He fully blocks that one. I'll take that, honestly, that's fine. Well, for my first activation, I think I'm going to take some chances. I'm going to activate Pennyworth and I'm going to have him shoot into the combat with the Settler, because that's what she deserves, quite frankly. And thanks to his normal decent chance to hit, he's on 9s. So, first shot, it is a hit for 1 extra damage, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. He is hitting the dog, which means he has just outright killed it. Thank goodness for that. And it also means he has another action. And it means she might be free to fire at something, and this time not shoot her friend in the head. So for his other action then, he will turn a little bit, just to show who he's attacking, and SMG the mongrel here. And with that, let's see if she gets a hit, as my dog gets upset IRL. That is a 9, so it comes down by 2, so that is a miss. Wait, no, hang on, 9, 8, 7. It lands on exactly a 7, never mind, I'm glad I double checked that. As a drop of die, I was distracted there. That's just 2 flat damage. Right there, very nice. That was a very effective turn for Pennyworth. Well, things are certainly speeding up now, because thanks to that other mongrel going down, there was only this one left to activate. It charged into Pennyworth though, so he might be about to pay for what he did. Randomly selected a green die for the charge bonus on 6s. That is a 7 that comes down by 2. It is a hit. Does the nuke do anything? Yes it does. It would break his leg. That's not really going to be super relevant. 2 damage versus 2 plus 1. He fully blocks the damage. Take that. So it's just my activations left now, the Scavenger, Free Tech and Settler. I'm going to go with the Scavenger first, then the Settler, then finally the Free Tech. And we might just do them all in the one take, let's see. So he's charged in with Pennyworth. He would have an extra green die for outnumbered bonus. He's taking a black die for his charge bonus, and he has that incendiary baton. And he is hitting on, what was it again, 4s? 4s. His green die need to do work. Not if he gets a crit fail though. Arg, why do you suck? Alright, well that's a crit fail. But if we get our bad luck out now, hopefully the Settler won't accidentally shoot the Free Tech in the head. At point blank range, it's double yellow plus a black die for shooting at a creature, in theory. Hitting on 8s. That is a hit, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the doggle, and doesn't have any armor, so it's just straight up 3 damage. Half its health. Let's see if you can repeat the feat. Again, rolling the exact same dice for her other shot. It is a hit. Oh, good grief. For 4, don't hit the Free Tech. For 4 damage, she did not hit the Free Tech and killed the mongrel. Redeemed. I mean, John's lying in the dirt somewhere over here bleeding, but redeemed. So that's good enough. That means the Free Tech, there's no point shooting into that combat, because the chances are he'll hit one of my own instead. So he's going to walk in instead and do a charge, because he's dumb like that, with his 2 damage. That's out of there now. And he will just do a point blank shot. Actually no, he'll swing, which means he's just getting improvised weapon, which is a flat 1 damage, a green die. He'll take a black die for his charge bonus and a green die for his outnumber bonus, and thanks to the power armor he's hitting on 6s. 8, 7, 6, 5. He hit for 2 damage. That's actually okay, considering. That mongrel now has 2 health left, which we'll deal with in the final turn. It was looking real dicey there for a while, but I think we have pulled this back, and it is going to be a win. But we have to do it officially, which means we need to go into turn 5 at least a little bit, and the mongrel gets a turn first. Downpour, agility test -2, aka nothing again, hooray! So as we start the 5th and final turn, the mongrel activates as the only activation for the enemies left, and it suddenly starts displaying a certain degree of intelligence and goes after the weakest target, aka the Scavenger. So, 2 dog bites against the Scavenger on 6s. That is a hit with an armor break for 2 extra damage. Oh, hubris. So that's down to, he's only got 1 armor left, so it doesn't matter if it blocks that, which he does, because he still takes 3, and he is down. The dog has 1 extra bite left. He's putting that into the Free Tech to try and take out the power armor. 8 comes down to 7. Thankfully he does not chew through the metal just yet. So it just comes down to, can either of those 2 kill him, basically. So we might as well just roll that out, and hopefully one of them will be able to. So Pennyworth is just rolling a green die for outnumber bonus with his yellow die, hitting on 7s. That is a hit for 1 extra damage. 3 damage goes through, they've got no armor, and that, thankfully, barely finishes the job with 3 of them left standing. Oh boy, that was a rough one, but barely by the skin of our teeth, the 3 surviving members of the team Who knew it would be difficult if two of your best units had to sit this one out. They managed to wrangle Daisy, Bessie, whatever your name is. I may not know your name, but I know what you're a pain in. But we do get 200 caps, and on top of the power armor we sold for 36, that means we are ending today with 399 caps. But we also get 2 items as a reward from the Very Happy Farmer. This is the Wasteland deck. I'm just going to cut randomly. We're going to take this one, and we're going to take this one, like that. So he has given us Ultra Jet and a Bottle Cap Mine, neither of which are super interesting, but we do have room to take them back. I suspect next time they'll be getting sold, but that's okay. So head on over within the next hour ideally. In the community tab there will be a new poll for what you think we should spend the caps on. Don't have as much to play with now because of that big spend last time, but 399, there's still some things we can afford. I think there's 2 or 3, so go check that out and please do cast your vote, ideally within the first 48 hours of the video being posted on Friday, because I record these on Sunday afternoonish / morning. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time for whatever antics we get up to with the New Hope Settlers. Please do continue to show your support. Anything, just pressing the thanks button, pressing the like button, leaving a comment, or becoming a channel member is all reinvested in the channel and helps support get new miniatures and whatnot. And with that, enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I shall see you next week. Ta for now.